Hey there, Christy with Automation on a Mission, and we are back with your latest Tidbit Tuesday. And in this video, we're going to talk about how to use list segmentation to work smarter, not harder in your business, and to save money in your marketing, make your people happy, all that kind of good stuff. And really what this is about, whether you think about it from a cost savings perspective, from an email engagement perspective, or just simply from I want to know my people and my community, I wanted to make sure that you knew and understand how to utilize our filtered searches. All right. So I want to just look at, because your guess is as good as we're in the demo account, and this thing is just full of weird random stuff because I am a weird random person. So I wanted to just do a quick toodle. Anything that you see here in these fields is information that we can search for and run a report on. So for example, if I wanted to do a search for anybody who would recommend us to others and also has a phone number, that's something that we can do. I can look for people who answer the question, what is your favorite color, with blue. I can look for any contacts that do not have the checkbox, yes, I agree. I can look for somebody with both of these two fields that have content. So what I'm doing is giving you examples of how we can search for lists of people, not just based on exactly what they say, but even the fact that they have information in a field. Okay, so let's take a look. So I'm going to pop out of her contact record itself, and I'm going to click on More Filters. And I'm going to say, I want to find people whose email address is not empty, which means I'm looking for anyone in the system who has an email address. So I'm going to click Apply. And that probably doesn't change a whole lot in my system. But let's say I want also everybody in the system who has both an email and a phone number. If I click on the and, I can scroll or I can type it in, phone, and I'm going to do the same thing. Let's say I want to find somebody whose phone number starts with a 3. And I'm going to click Apply. And notice it's just thinking. And I'm going to do the same thing while it's thinking. Is not empty. And has a phone number, just has a phone number. So let's say, for example, that's my intended search. Now my internet is going a little bit slow, but if the results become 0, it means that I don't have anybody in the system to meet my criteria, or I've done something wrong, or in my case, I got wonky internet. So let's just do that guy right there. Okay, so that one's nice and fast. So is not empty. So right now it is searched. So we had 442 contacts when we were just looking for any contacts that had an email address. If we look for contacts that have both an email and a phone number, our list became drastically smaller. So it's something just to be mindful of, to pay attention to. Now, let's say I want to find all of the people who, clicked on a specific link in a previous email. I can incorporate those things in there as well. So I want you to be thinking about, in your own business, how do you differentiate the kinds of communications that you are pushing out? So one thing, as an example, I'll tell you a story of a client, and sometimes it really hurts me when I do things for a client and I know that it's wrong and it's bad. And here's a situation where I expressed concern and they wanted me to do it anyway. So this client had, and this was a long time ago, they had a list of like 20,000 contacts, men and women, and they were doing some sort of like joint venture promotion, affiliate promotion for another person's event. And the event was a women's specific event. The thing was called like such and such women's conference. Like there was no question about it that there was a target audience that was appropriate for that event and a group of people that were not in her list. Now, in her desire to just get the email out, she did not want to do anything to segment the men that were in her list, the people whose names were clearly not going to be appropriate for receiving that email. And so the email went out to all 20,000 contacts, and you can imagine the pushback she got. She got dinged because her email had an excessively high number of people who unsubscribed. And then there's just the sheer number of people who sent emails about how inappropriate the email was for them because it wasn't specifically for them. So we want to be thinking about and be mindful of not just get our content out and get it out as quickly as possible and let them do the heavy lifting. How can you make sure that when an email of yours lands in someone's inbox, they know that you have really been thoughtful and mindful of this person belongs getting this email? And you do that by making sure that your filtered searches, that your buckets of people are segmented in such a way that when you send out an email, you know you're sending it out to people where the content is a relevant match to the audience that you're sending it to. So from a budget standpoint, you're going to save money because you're not wasting credits recognizing that that email is simply going to be ignored because you're a dude at a women, like getting a women's event thing. It's not appropriate. They're not going to be interested, and it tells them that you're tone deaf and that you don't care. So you're wasting money by sending it, but you're also hurting your sender reputation because you are sending a message that you don't care, and those people that unsubscribe hurt your ability to continue to land in people's inboxes. So, moral of the story, learn about your people. Know who your ideal client is, and if you started your business and you had people from all walks of life, and you've since gotten super clear on who it is that you serve, and you've got people in your system that are not your ideal client, I highly encourage you, one, separate those people out. Consider things like a blog to be something that maybe fits them and their, that might interest them. Or maybe even consider letting them know, hey, I've really started to go in this direction that I see you may not be a part of, and I want to give you an opportunity to opt out. Give them a way of clicking a button that applies a tag, marks them as do not disturb, so that you can get them out of your system. Celebrate when people want out because it's not a fit. Don't beat yourself up over it, and also don't take it personally. Our goal is to make sure that our emails are only getting to the people who want to receive them. And the best way to do that is to make sure that we know who our people are and that we're creating segmented lists so that we can send out our refined communications to the appropriate people. Okay? So let's finish this up. So we've created our filtered search. They have both an email and a phone number. I'm going to save it as a smart list, email and phone. And now with this email and phone, I can now take this list and I can send an email to them. Real quickly before I do, so whenever I save that filtered search, this is a dynamic search. So as new people enter my ecosystem, if they fit this criteria and I click on that smart list, I'm going to see that list continue to grow. So it's not like this list is a fixed list at, on such and such date at such and such time. It's going to be a list that continues to be modified. If I take people off, if I add people to my system, the list is always going to automatically update. Next thing I want to point out is when you have your smart lists in your system, I wanted to point out the difference between the globe and the person and nothing. So where this column here that doesn't really have a clear line is giving you an idea about who can see your smart list. So if it has a person plus, it means that you've shared it with one or a few people in your system. Hang on one second. There we go. So let's say, for example, I want to share this list with Rigby. I can share this list with Rigby, and it's going to give that person plus. If I had like 5 people and I added the list to 2 people, it will still give me the person plus. If I share the list with everyone, then it's going to give me the symbol of a globe. So if I create a list and I go to my team member to be like, oh yeah, you should have it, but I didn't share it with them, they're not going to be able to see it. Okay? And then the last thing to share is just about how do we utilize that communication to send out an email. So if we go into our campaigns, and here we've got a draft, I'm going to work off of this particular campaign. I create my beautiful email. Wow, it's rich in content. And I've got my sender email. I got all my settings are all turned on, right? You'll see here, send to a smart list. This makes it super easy. So if I click on my plus here, I can look for email and phone, and that's my list of 237 contacts. And assuming all that stuff is done and is ready to go, I can click the review and send. All right, so I hope that this video is helpful in understanding how you can use list segmentation to give you some really sophisticated information. Now, email isn't the only thing that you can do with that. You can push those people into an automation. You can do tagging. You can do pretty much anything that you want with them. But I think the most valuable piece and the moral of this particular video was really to help you get a better idea about how you can use saved searches, filtered searches to help you ensure that your email content is going to the people who want to see it and receive it most. All right? As always, let us know if you have any questions. We are here to help. Thank you.